It's the game of the year in the ODAC women's basketball regular season as Randolph-Macon, riding a 16-game winning streak, comes to Lexington to take on a nationally ranked Washington and Lee squad that's won 10 straight. Two teams battling for the top position in the ODAC women's basketball standings. Just a few weeks out from the conference tournament, meet for their only time this season here inside a Holcamp Gym. We say hello and welcome inside Holcamp Gymnasium, part of the Richard Dutchess Swan Athletic and Recreation Center on the campus of Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. Alongside Shane Riley, I'm Ryan Connell, and Shane, couldn't ask for a better game in ODAC women's basketball this season. Two of the best teams all year long meet for the only time in the regular season and do so playing some of their best basketball of the year. Randolph-Macon, winners of 16 straight, while Washington and Lee has won 10 games in a row. Yeah, both of these teams riding a long winning streak coming into this game, both not trying to relinquish that, trying to go on. Obviously, the Generals are moving to 11 straight wins, and then for Randolph-Macon, a 17th win in a row would be the most that they've ever had in their program history. So those win streaks both on the line, but also, as you talked about, the ODAC standing so tight right now at the top with Bridgewater, Randolph-Macon, and Washington and Lee. Washington and Lee would come away with a win today. The finish at the top of the ODAC would look quite close, and then obviously if Randolph-Macon are able to come away with a win, they'll try to solidify themselves at the top. Their next matchup against Bridgewater, which will have huge implications if they're able to come away with a win today. Yeah, Randolph-Macon getting both Washington and Lee here today. Bridgewater at home on Wednesday. They play the other two teams in the top three of the conference that are each a couple games clear of Shenandoah, who's in fourth place. You see Ferrum in fifth, Guilford in sixth, Randolph and Roanoke round out the 8-team field as it would stand as of this moment if the season were to end today. But still a couple more weeks left, 3 weeks left until the final game of the season on Saturday, February 22nd, and then the ODAC tournament starts the following week. So only about 5 or 6 conference games left for all of these teams here, and you can kind of see how close the race is through different points of the standings, especially today's at the top of the conference picture. But this game also featuring some of the best players in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference as well. Mary Sleisner for Washington and Lee, almost 19 points per game, 18 rebounds per contest. One of the best players in the country, returning All-American. Randolph-Macon has been riding some great play from Catherine Cagey, the fifth year back after suffering a season-ending injury just 4 games into last season, back for her fifth year this year, also averaging a double-double and really steering the ship for this Randolph-Macon squad that is 17-1 on the campaign. Yeah, really those two players for each of these teams make ththings move. I talked about Mary Sleisner, just so dominant inside and on the post. Defensively, offensively, she's able to do pretty much whatever she wants on the floor. And you talked about Cagey coming back, having a very solid season after last year and only playing those 4 games. But you also take a look at Mackenzie Matheny for this Randolph-Macon team, a transfer from Mount St. Mary's, and last game she had 31 points out. So she'll look to get going offensively too for this Randolph-Macon team. So Randolph-Macon and Washington and Lee still just a few moments away from getting underway here in Lexington. Yellow Jackets and Generals met twice last year in the regular season. Washington and Lee came away victorious. Washington and Lee has won 4 straight games against Randolph-Macon, and the Yellow Jackets trying to win their first game here in Lexington in 9 years, since 2015. So a lot of different streaks and other things to monitor throughout this game, and we will certainly keep you involved with all of that as that develops. But this should be a very vastly entertaining affair between Randolph-Macon and Washington and Lee here this afternoon. We'll step aside for the national anthem when we return. Starting lineups in the opening tip-off here this afternoon between Randolph-Macon and Washington and Lee right here on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. Welcome back to the campus of Washington and Lee University for today's Old Dominion Athletic Conference matchup between Randolph-Macon and Washington and Lee. Time to meet the starting laps, and we'll start with the visiting Yellow Jackets of Randolph-Macon. Starts with a 5'6" sophomore guard from Chesterfield, Virginia, number 1, Sam Smith. A 5'10" sophomore guard from Herndon, Virginia, number 4, Bella Bruce. A 5'9" fifth-year forward from Roanoke, Virginia, number 20, Catherine Cagey. A 5'4" senior guard from Forest Hill, Maryland, number 23, Marissa Ziegler. And rounding out the starting five for the Yellow Jackets, a 5'11" junior forward from Fairfax Station, Virginia, number 33, Mackenzie Matheny. Head coach Lindsey Burke-Eberhardt in her 5th season in charge of the Yellow Jackets, the reigning ODAC Coach of the Year in the conference. Her assistants Jenna Stanton and Kate McCarney. As for the Washington and Lee Generals, led by first-year head coach Brittany Kemp and her assistant Katie Garish. Their starting lineup starts with a 5'10" junior forward from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 5, Sarah Zimmerman. She's joined by a 5'7" junior guard from Corvallis, Oregon, number 10, Elka Preckle. A 5'7" junior guard from Columbia, New Jersey, number 14, Quinn McGinnis. A 5'11" sophomore forward from Little Rock, Arkansas, number 30, Riley Bryant. Rounding out the starting five for the Generals, a 6'1" junior forward from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 50, Mary Sleisner. Washington and Lee has won 10 straight games. They're 17-2 on the campaign, 9-1 in Old Dominion Athletic Conference play, and a perfect 7-0 at home this season. Randolph-Macon, on the other hand, 17-1, 10-0 in ODAC play, the only unbeaten team left in conference play, and 6-0 away from Crenshaw Gym this season, riding a 16-game winning streak. And the Generals go head-to-head here this afternoon. Ryan Connell and Shane Riley with you on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. Randolph-Macon, the black uniforms, the gold numbers and letters that will go left to right here in the first half, while Washington and Lee in the home white uniforms with blue numbers and letters will go right to left. Shane, just your last-minute keys to victory for both the Yellow Jackets and Generals here this afternoon.
And for the Yellow Jackets, it's really their defensive side of the ball that's gotten them all these wins and guided their way. There were only two games that they allowed more than 60 points were against two ranked opponents. Washington and Lee ranked today, so it'll be really important for them to hold the Generals low scoring offensively. And then for the Generals, it's really going to be a key to focus on their offense. They're a little bit sloppy their last game against EMU, but it's going to be important to get out strong, get their offense going early, and get into some plays that they like.
Washington and Lee wins the tip. Sleisner gets a touch along the block. She kicks out to Bryant for a corner three. Left it on the front rim, and that one last deflects off the leg of Bella Bruce and out. So it'll stay Washington and Lee basketball. McGinnis to inbound here in the corner. Comes right back to her. Open corner three is good.
And McGinnis there just wide open off of the inbound. Zimmerman a quick pass back, and McGinnis knocks down the first bucket of the game for the Generals.
So Smith runs the show here for Randolph-Macon. Matheny gets it at the high post. One dribble picks up and goes back out for Smith. Mackenzie Matheny for Randolph-Macon, a newcomer to the Yellow Jackets this season. Started her career at Mount St. Mary's the first 2 years. Just 5 seconds to shoot here for Bruce. Goes on the drive to the hoop and left it short. Sleisner away with the rebound as the Generals try and push the tempo. McGinnis, a runner in the lane, no.
Good position inside that time for McGinnis. Nice shot put up, but that one rolls around the rim and out.
This is Bruce off the screen, comes to Smith in the corner. Ziegler pulls it out, goes down low for Matheny. Matheny stops in the lane, has to kick out for Smith, a three. Too strong, offensive board, KG. Just 3 to shoot here for the Yellow Jackets. Matheny has to hoist, and it's going to be a shot clock violation against the Yellow Jackets.
And a couple of great defensive possessions to open this game up for the Generals, just staying strong there, staying in front of their matchup and not allowing Randolph-Macon to generate any good looks there.
Guinness slowly across half court, right to left. She'll use a pair of screens, pick up her dribble. Zimmerman with room in the lane, blocked by KG, comes right back to her. And then throws it off the back of the backboard and out of play.
And Zimmerman there just really had no help. She picked her dribble up and got herself stuck in a bad position on the court, and then no teammate really came to give her assistance there. KG, a good job on the block as well, forcing Zimmerman into a tough spot.
The Generals show a little bit of pressure and then drop back into their man-to-man defense. Bruce, a deep three in front of the W&L bench. It's a little too strong, and Slicener there to grab the miss. Pushing it way up ahead for Bryant. A transition layup rolls out. And Randolph-Macon's out of bounds trying to save it.
A great vision from Slicer, and there was a good pass up to Bryant. Unable to finish there, but a lucky bounce for the Generals keeps it with them.
Still just a 3-0 game here, about 2.5 minutes into the opening quarter. Both teams have had a couple of good looks, just haven't finished all that much. Another pass that deflects away. Kagi in transition, spins with the left hand for two. First points of the day for Catherine Kagi, and she's someone closing in on a career milestone. Entered the day needing 23 points to get to 1,000. And she has her first 2 points here this afternoon. Zimmerman, a blow by, and the layup for two.
Zimmerman there with a really nice pump fake. Gets Kagi up in the air and then blows by for the easy two.
Bruce nearly trapped at half court. Exits to Smith. Down low, this one tied up, and the possession arrow is going to keep it with Randolph-Macon.
Randolph-Macon right now still struggling to get into their offense. They got the fast break, too, from Kagi, but so far their half-court offense has struggled to get good looks, and the Generals have put a lot of pressure on the ball.
Matheny right along the baseline, and not close with that shot attempt. Bryant up top here for Preckle. Slicener, one dribble, fade away, off the backboard, and it rattles out. Matheny kind of working the post, gets double teamed, and then a foul going to be coming against the Generals, and that's going to go Riley Bryant on the personal. A couple of different Washington Elite players close by, and Matheny will head to the line for a pair of free throws. Morgan Miller cycles in for the Yellow Jackets. She takes the place of Bella Bruce, and Matheny has the first one roll out. Matheny, fantastic night on Wednesday against Virginia Wesleyan. A career-high 31 points on a very efficient 15 of 18 from the floor. And she goes 1 of 2 on that trip to the free throw line. One more substitution here for Randolph-Macon, and it's Juliana Park rotating in. Ziegler will sit down. 5-3 Washington and Lee. 6.5 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Preckle, nowhere to go. Leaves off for Slicener. Slicener, one step to the left. Rattles out. Offensive rebound for McGinnis. Her layup too strong. Offensive board, Zimmerman. Her putback effort is good.
Really strong, consistent effort for the Generals on the glass there. A couple of shots that should have probably gone in, but that's why you stay persistent on the glass, and they're able to find another quick two.
Kagi, high post Matheny. Park for three on the wing. Rolls home for Juliana Park.
Slicer there just not closing out quick enough, giving too much room there for Park. 32% three-point shooter. She knocks that one down.
Randolph-Macon, not a team that takes a whole lot of threes, but Park, one of the few that does so at a pretty high rate. Schleichner's three on the other end ends up short, and a defensive board for Randolph-Macon. Smith will try her luck. This one too strong. And Bryant there for the defensive glass. Schleichner to the hoop. And a friendly roll that time for Mary Schleichner.
And Schleichner taking quite a few shots in this opening period so far. Unable to get any of them to fall, but a nice move there, getting to her right side and finishing on a little hook shot.
Randolph-Macon will swing it around here for Morgan Miller. And a foul going to come against Preckle reaching in. Kagi had good positioning on the low block. Second foul against Washington Lee. First against Elka Preckle. And that'll take us to the media timeout. 4:43 to play here in the first quarter. A 9-6 lead for number 13 Washington Lee on the Washington Lee Sports Network. 4:43 to play here in the first quarter. A 9-6 lead for number 13 Washington and Lee in front of Randolph-Macon. Ryan Connell and Shane Riley with you on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. An inbounds play coming here for the Yellow Jackets underneath the W&L basket. Ziegler gets it in here for Kagi, and Park has her runner in the lane rattle out.
Macon right now really struggling from the field. Just 2 of 8 in this opening quarter.
Zimmerman to the basket. Won't get the righty layup to go. Park up top here for Ziegler. One more pass, Matheny. And Matheny hits the three.
Matheny just left all alone there. She thought about with the pump fake, thinking that Slicer may have gone to close out, but doesn't do so, and Matheny gladly takes that open three.
Just the second attempted three of the season for Mackenzie Matheny, and now she's hit both of them. Slicer, the other end, step inside the free throw line. Jumper is good.
That's exactly where Slicer loves to operate. Nice little mid-range inside the paint, and able to add 2 more to give the Generals a lead again.
Park has an open look from straight away. Just not going to get that one to drop. Zimmerman spin and one. Zimmerman spins and finishes in transition.
A great finish there from Sarah Zimmerman at the cup. Always love those and one opportunities. Zimmerman does such a good job of finishing them all the time, and another chance here for Zimmerman at the line.
So Brianna Shuttlewood into the game for Washington and Lee. So too Lacey Kania. And that sets Zimmerman up to the line for one more, and she makes the free throw to go with it. Foul one against Kagi, which is her first. Yellow Jackets break the pressure and now try and set up their offense. Ziegler for Matheny. Going left, turning back right. Matheny off the mark. And Zimmerman able to grab it. McGinnis for Slicer. Has a step on the baseline. The pull-up around and out. Matheny thought about the shot. Instead looks for Park. Overthrows her. Ends up with Shuttlewood. Now a fast break chance for the Generals. McGinnis trying to get downhill. Stops in the lane, and she's fouled. And that's Park reaching in. That'll send McGinnis to the line for 2 free throws.
McGinnis there without the numbers there. Just had Slicer with her, but still attacking, getting to the rim, and able to draw a shooting foul.
Yeah, it was almost it was 2-on-3 there, and Randolph-Macon just a little out of sorts on where everyone needed to be, and Park bailed out McGinnis with that foul, and McGinnis has her first free throw rattle out. Second one is good. A 15-9 lead for the Generals. 2:30 to play here in the first, as Megan Zimmerman comes in for the first time today, and McGinnis takes a seat.
I like this Generals full court pressure here. Randolph-Macon already struggling a little bit in the half court offense. Putting pressure on them makes it even harder to get going once they get up the floor.
That one took a deflection right at half court from Slicer, and nearly a turnover, but stays with the Yellow Jackets. Kagi spinning right, fading away, left it on the front rim, gets her own miss. Has her second shot blocked. And third opportunity on the offensive end. Back cut, high shot from Ziegler, no. Reverse layup, that's off the mark from Miller. And then finally, Slicer able to pull around, the ball just bouncing out of control.
And that's incredible defense from Slicer, not fouling on any of those shot attempts. Inside, got her hands up, made each of those shots hard, and eventually able to come away with the rebound.
And a foul away from the ball is going to go against Juliana Park. And that's a second foul on Park.
Park doesn't seem to be too happy with that foul call.
Inbounds for Connell in the corner. Connell, reverse layup off the window for 2. Smooth move for Icy Connell.
Connell just knew that she could blue pass right past her defender there and sweeps right by for the nice reverse layup.
And we'll get a foul out on the perimeter against Zimmerman. That's Megan Zimmerman on the personal. So Matheny back in and Park to the bench with her second personal. Side out of bounds for the Yellow Jackets. Smith for Matheny. That one knocked out of her hands by Slicer, but last touch by W&L.
Slicer's activity on defense right now is really giving the Yellow Jackets problems. We saw it on that last possession, just her length inside, able to affect every shot, and there just getting the deflection, forcing Randolph-Macon to take it out.
A foul that time against Washington and Lee, and that's going to go against Sarah Zimmerman. So it'll be the first foul on Sarah. The 14th foul against the Generals. That sends Kagi back to the line. First one back iron and out. Kagi this season just 61% at the free throw line, but consistent double-double threat. About 12 points per game and just over 10 rebounds. She splits a pair, and it's 17-10 with just over a minute to play here in the first. Connell hesitating, lost the dribble, but through the legs of a Randolph-Macon player, and they'll say it's Yellow Jackets basketball.
Coach Kemp there confused by the call, thought that Randolph-Macon deflected that one out of Connell's hands, but the officials see it differently, and they're going to go back to the Yellow Jackets on offense.
Not only did it get maybe deflected out of her hands, it rolled right through someone else's legs where you almost had to think there was a touch, but Shuttlewood picks up a foul right at half court. That's the 5th foul against the Generals here in the first quarter, so that's a bonus here for the Yellow Jackets, and at least 2 guaranteed free throw attempts coming for Morgan Miller. First one up and good for her. Yellow Jackets have not shot it well, just 3 of 15 from the floor. Made some hay at the free throw line, now 4 of 6.
And the free throws and a couple of three-pointers are keeping them right in this game. Only a 5-point deficit despite the poor shooting.
Slicer at the free throw line. Kick out for Connell. She'll spot it up. And that one will hit the top of the backboard and roll out.
A chance now for Randolph-Macon to hold this one for the last possession. We'll see what they opt to do here, whether or not they go for an early shot or just run this clock out.
Miller leaves it for Matheny. Side ball screen for Smith. Ziegler, 8 to shoot. The turnaround is good. Generals maybe one final shot, and Connell tries from 3/4 court. That comes up well short. 6 straight unanswered there for the Yellow Jackets to close out the quarter. They cut it down to a 3-point game. 17-14 our score after 1. Number 13, Washington and Lee in front of Randolph-Macon here on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. Start of the second quarter here inside a Whole Camp Gym. Number 13, Washington, only 17. Randolph-Macon, 14. Ryan Connell and Shane Riley with you on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. Generals lead by 3 after the first 10 minutes. We'll see Zoo Rain for the first time today for Washington and Lee. Rain in the corner, down low from Slicner, gets it right back. Nearly lost her footing, kick out for Zimmerman. And Slicner able to track down an offensive rebound. Has a room on the baseline, going into contact and the foul.
Slicner there with a little bit of a pass fake over to Zimmerman. Gets her defender to bite on it, and then just a free lane for Zimmerman, or for Slicner to take there, and finishes it off with an and one opportunity.
The free throw from Slicner drops straight through. She's got 6 points to go along with 5 rebounds. Zimmerman gets her hands to that one, trying to save it. And we will have Randolph-Macon ball. It pointed one way, then pointed the other. But it did seem like Zimmerman was on the end line when she touched it. Pressure from the Generals, at least making it a little bit more difficult for the Yellow Jackets. That time they break it rather freely. But the Generals recovered quickly. Smith looking for some cutters, goes to Kagi. And we'll have a foul on the floor coming against Zoo Rain.
Yeah, Rain there lost her balance a little bit guarding Kagi. A little bit of a hand check foul there. This was going to call that one.
So inbounds for the Yellow Jackets. Kagi will spot up inside the three-point line and knock down a deep two.
Kagi there just dribbling around, finding her spot. Realized she had some space for the mid-range. Zimmerman not quite all the way up on her, and finds a nice two.
Rain from nearly the same spot on the other end comes up short. Kagi, the nice outlet. Ziegler, one more pass. Bruce off the bottom of the backboard. Just was a little too under the hoop that time. Slicner, baseline against Matheny. Goes into a double team, and that one knocked out of play by the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, excellent help defense there from the Yellow Jackets. Slicner moving to the middle, trying to find her spot. Randolph-Macon understanding that they can't let her get those kinds of looks, and forcing the deflection out of bounds.
Riley Bryant back in, Rain out. McGinnis keeps her pivot foot alive, high off the window for two.
And just an excellent move there, spinning around there by McGinnis. Getting Ziegler a little bit uncomfortable and out of position defensively, and then finishing off the easy layup.
So Smith directs traffic at the logo. Goes on the drive and kick. Kagi straight away. One-on-one with Zimmerman. Hesitates. Can't hit. Rebound comes to Bryant. McGinnis. Probe in the lane. Now back to Zimmerman. Her runner. No. Slicner able to grab the miss. Preckle a three. Around and out.
Yeah, Smith didn't see that pass coming into Preckle, but had perfect defensive position on Preckle. Preckle still lined up for the shot and unable to knock it down.
That one deflects. Kagi tries to save it and does so to the Generals. Slicner in transition. Goes into traffic, just has to throw it away. Gets her own miss off the backboard, and another rebound from Preckle comes right back to her. Randolph-Macon wanted to travel against Slicner. It seemed like she got rid of the ball. That time saves it from going out of bounds, and just doing everything to try and make something happen. 6 to shoot for the Generals. One dribble, fade away, Slicner off the mark.
A chaotic possession there from the Generals. Ball flying around just about everywhere it could have gone. Slicner able to save it quite a few times there.
Chaos was the exact right word for that scenario there, Shane. Just a whole lot happening. Nothing quite that productive. And Matheny misses. Washington Lee gets the rebound, calls a timeout.
Honestly, very impressive on that last possession that the Generals didn't lose the ball at any of those moments. but we're not able to really find a great look. Both teams a little discombobulated on offense. A couple of these possessions have been a little wild for both sides.
Washington and Lee already in the second quarter has taken 10 field goal attempts to just 4 for Randolph-Macon. They've only made 2 of them. It has been a 5-2 scoreline in favor of Washington Lee here in the second, which is generating so many more opportunities. They have 9 offensive rebounds here in the first half.
And that has a lot to do with Mary Slicer's effort on the offensive glass. She's always working around down there, but this Generals team really puts an emphasis on getting those offensive boards, as you saw on these last few possessions, just not necessarily getting the best shot attempts. And Randolph-Macon also struggling from the quarter overall in this game, just 5 for 20 from the field, 1 for 4 from this quarter, 4 for 16 in the first. So both teams still trying to get into the flow offensively.
Slicer, 7 points, 7 rebounds for Washington Lee. Sarah Zimmerman, 7 points, 4 boards. 6 points for Quinn McGinnis. The other 2 coming for Icy Kania. Catherine Kagi, 5 points and 5 rebounds for her. Mackenzie Matheny's got 4. Juliana Park has made 3, and Ziegler and Miller both have 2. Let's see Kat Pettigrove for the first time today as Slicer takes his seat. Off the Washington and Lee timeout, McGinnis across half court, right to left. Zimmerman trying to get it to Pettigrove, gets deflected, comes back to her. Bryant on the drive, kick out McGinnis, a corner 3. And a rebound by Matheny.
Generals also struggling from the three-point arc today, just 1 of 8 now after that shot attempt.
Bruce will try her luck from distance and hit.
And Randolph-Macon really getting most of their field goals to drop from beyond the arc now. That's their 3rd three-pointer of just 6 makes from the field.
Preckle. For Zimmerman on the wing. Has her lane to the basket and goes a little too much. There's a chance to run for Randolph-Macon. Kagi stops and hits.
An excellent drive there from Kagi. Understanding the Generals had right around the rim locked down, but she just pulls up about like 8 feet out about and just knocks down a nice little layup.
Pettigrove for Preckle. Smith, the tight defense. Bryant. Now McGinnis weaving to the basket. McGinnis is fouled.
Excellent motion there from this Generals team, allowing McGinnis to get all the way to the cup. Unable to finish on that one, but drawing the foul.
And so that foul goes against Bruce, which will be her first. And that sends McGinnis back to the free throw line. McGinnis this season has been top player for Washington and Lee at the free throw line, 81% entering the day. Also amongst the conference leaders in assists at nearly 4 assists a game. Both her and Sam Smith, 2 of the better point guards you'll see in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference for women's basketball going head-to-head here this afternoon. McGinnis drops both in, and Washington and Lee has a 24-21 lead. Matheny against Pettigrove, falling away, has it rattle out.
You saw there how Smith is able to get her teammates involved as the Generals turn that one over.
Smith trying to get to the basket, and she will. Sam Smith will lay it in for her first points.
A strong drive there from Smith. Able to get to the cup and bring the Yellow Jackets now within a point.
Pettigrove underneath the basket, able to kick it out for McGinnis. Preckle underneath. McGinnis reverse layup on the front rim, and a reach-in foul against Pettigrove, 90 feet from their own basket.
That was an excellent back cut there by McGinnis. Just not really enough position inside to finish. Gets blocked by the rim a little bit there, and then as you talked about, Ryan, Pettigrove with a careless foul there all the way on the other side of the court. Kagi open, gets Slicer in the air, and able to drop it in
First lead of the night for Randolph-Macon, 25-24 Yellow Jackets. Slicener gonna hoist one up, and a rebound by Kagi.
The Macon defense right now is really just doing exactly what they were hoping to at the beginning of this game. Just 2 of 14 now from the field are the Generals this quarter. And Randolph-Macon's defensive pressure really doing a lot.
Matheny behind the free throw line, no. Offensive board for Kagi. Second opportunity, Miller. Long rebound comes all the way back out to Smith. Smith for Kagi. Into Pettigrove and able to finish.
Kagi right now really taking this quarter over for Randolph-Macon. Doing everything she can offensively, up to 9 points on the day.
Bryant in the corner. Slicener. Drop step. Around and out. The Yellow Jackets will settle when they get to half court. Host of substitutions for both teams waiting at the table to check in. Matheny going right at Pettigrove, no. And then Washington Lee able to grab the miss. Slicener trying to force it to Pettigrove and turns it over. Kagi. And Slicener coming down for the rebound, lands right on top of Smith. 5 on 4 for the Generals. Slicener to the basket and gets it to go.
And on the other end there, Randolph-Macon looking for maybe a loose ball foul there on Slicener. No call there. Generals with the numbers and finally able to get a shot to go in.
That one deflected out with 1:24 to play, so it'll be an out of bounds here for the Yellow Jackets, and they're going to want a timeout as well. It was a first stoppage in over 3 minutes of game time, just a lot of back and forth. And as you mentioned, Shane, Yellow Jackets wanting a foul down on the other end.
You really got to look at their defensive effort this quarter, just staying strong on that side of the floor, forcing these Generals into some really tough looks. Look at Slicener, only 3 of 12 from the field. Sarah Zimmerman, 3 of 8. The team overall just shooting 10 of 34, 3 of 16 this quarter. And Randolph-Macon have really turned around their shooting. 42% from the field, 6 of 14. That's really the story of this second quarter and why Randolph-Macon have been able to come back and now maintain this 1-point lead.
Yeah, I think Washington Lee got caught out there in that last stretch with a different rotation than maybe they're used to. With both Slicener and Pettigrove on the floor, there presents a lack of space then in the paint, and then not having as many shooters in the game as well, where it was just kind of like the offense was just a tad off, and you think you'll see a different lineup here, and you will, with Shuttlewood, Kania, and Sarah Zimmerman back in, Bryant and Slicener staying on the floor for the Generals. It's Miller with Kagi, Matheny, Ziegler, and Smith for Randolph-Macon as well.
With that lineup the Generals had out there, it really was just Slicer playing some ISO ball. Not really a lot of looks that they could get, but Generals with a better lineup now here. See if they're able to find themselves offensively.
Smith won't get that one to go, and a foul on the rebound as both Miller and Slicener were going for it. That goes against Morgan Miller, her first. Still just a 1-point game, 27-26, a little over a minute before halftime. Has not looked the cleanest at times, but it has still been a really back and forth game. Slicener fouled on the way up. And they will get what appears to be Kagi reaching in.
Macon fans not happy with that call. They thought it was deflected or something there. But officials disagree, and Slicener at the line.
Kagi, though, took credit for it. She looked right at her coach, in Lindsey Burke-Eberhardt, and said, no, that was on me. I brought the hands down and hit on the side of her arm. As Slicener hits both free throws to volley Washington and Lee back in front. The second foul against Kagi here in the first half. Juliana Park on the bench with a couple of fouls for the Yellow Jackets as well. Under a minute to play here before halftime. 1 point game. Miller down low. Kagi looking for the back cut off Matheny, and it's off her leg and out.
Kagi, a great idea there for Matheny. Just a little bit too much on that pass. Matheny not able to corral it. It knocks that one out of play for a turnover.
Shuttlewood bringing it up the court for the Generals. Kania lofting it for Zimmerman to the bucket and able to finish.
Great vision there by Kania. Understanding Zimmerman's cutting to the hoop. Puts that one in a place where only she can get it, and then Zimmerman able to finish it off.
And then the Washington and Lee pressure forces a Randolph-Macon turnover. There's 14.7 seconds left here for the Generals before the half.
Yeah, Macon was trying to push it up the floor to get a quick shot. Just a little bit inaccurate with that pass.
Kania kick out Bryant and had to get rid of it. And that's how the first half ends. Randolph-Macon wanted to travel, but even still, you're only going to get about 0.2 seconds left. And nonetheless, the clock's going to run out in the first half. But after 20 minutes, that's our score, 30-27.
Yeah, it's pretty chaotic first half. As at certain moments, both teams struggled from the field at long stretches of that game. The Generals ended on a nice little run there to get back to a 3-point lead, but both teams have been back and forth all game. It's going to look to be a very good second half.
30-27, our score. Mary Slicener, 11 points in 10 rebounds for Washington and Lee. Catherine Cahey, 11 points, 8 rebounds for her. And as we mentioned before the game, two of the best players in the conference going head-to-head, and both of them performing in the first 20 minutes for their squad. 30-27, our score. Number 13, Washington and Lee in front of Randolph-Macon. We'll step aside, give you more first half stats when we return. Up next here on the Washington and Lee Sports Network.
Inclusion means making what we offer here at W&L accessible to the broadest possible swath of students that are out there.
W&L has a phenomenal financial aid program, which allows so many more students to come here.
I've been very fortunate to have access to W&L's financial aid system, and they definitely want to make sure that students have access to all kinds of opportunities, and the cost is not a barrier for, say, a spring term abroad.
Once you come, no matter your financial background, we are going to ensure that you have access to all of the opportunities that form the W&L educational experience.
The Johnson Scholarship is a scholarship for leadership and integrity. I am very grateful for all of the aid that it's given me to get to go to college for free, but also with the scholarship, we get a summer stipend.
W&L finds ways to support students, and that makes my job a lot easier, to have students who are supported and feel like this is a place where they can succeed.
We ensure that they have funds and resources that allow them to take part in research and internships and all kinds of summer opportunities.
Being able to graduate debt-free is such a privilege.
It is life-changing if a student can graduate without loan debts.
You kind of have a fresh slate. You're not going into the world with debt that you need to worry about and all of that pressure on top of the normal post-graduation pressure.
Getting the opportunity to come to an amazing school like W&L and knowing that I will graduate and not have all this debt has completely changed my life. My parents still can't really believe it, and it's just, I love it so much, and I love W&L.
What's your favorite meme, GIF, or even emoji you like to use?
The emoji I like to use is the dancing man. Probably like the dancing one.
Like the guy in the suit who's like dancing. I use that for everything.
I really like the like cartwheel emoji or like the like dancing guy emoji. favorite emoji is like the crying emoji. Emoji, I usually do this little heart one.
Like the Elmo when he's like on fire.
Probably Elf when I'm really excited when he's like Santa.
I either like the party emoji with the hat or the heart hands. I like the emoji that's like this.
I like the emoji with the star eyes, and I also like invisible text.
You know The Office? I like when Michael Scott just looks at Toby.
I like the like blushing like smile one or like the cartwheel one.
I like the fire emoji or like the melting head emoji.
It's none of those, but I really like invisible ink right now. Everything I send. I always use the emoji that has like the swirled eyes. I don't know. It can be used in a lot of contexts.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
An obligation not merely to work towards a personal best in the classroom or in the sport we love, but rather an obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. For Special Olympics athletes, victory belongs not only to those who first cross the line, but to all of those who compete and endure.
They are challenged in ways we cannot imagine. They are survivors who test themselves harder and with greater joy than we will ever know.
Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours, time away from the classroom and practice field, reaching across the country to coach and mentor Special Olympics athletes.
And to learn, as we all do, that in giving we receive so much more in return.
Sport ennobles us. And in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
Be part of it.
Get involved.
You can make a difference.
Student success goes far beyond grades. Yes, students want to come and they want to achieve in their classrooms, but they also want to learn all of those things that are going to stay with them for the rest of their lives.
I would say the majority of Washington Lee students are, in addition to taking their classes, also at least part of 3 or 4 clubs.
When I got to this campus, I would have described myself as this really shy person who, yes, did theater and could perform on stage, but couldn't talk to people one-on-one. Now, I'm the social chair of 3 different organizations on campus. Really, the transformation is just completely crazy.
While academics is first and we are student athletes, the professors here at W&L also want you to succeed in your athletic commitments. And so being able to work with the professors so you're able to get everything that you want out of your athletic commitments while also being academically successful as well.
I'm in a fraternity. It's been a really good opportunity, and I've grown really close with the guys who joined at the same time as me. Being around them, them being some of my best friends, has really just allowed me to grow as though we were a family together.
Of my really close friends, I would say that at least 2, if not 3 of them, I've met through the theater department. We get a lot of students who come in and do the shows, and so having friends that aren't necessarily theater majors but love to do the theater shows here makes it really special.
I sing in the Grace Episcopal Choir, where I've gotten to meet a number of people within the Lexington community, which has just been a super cool experience because Washington and Lee is so connected to Lexington, and so getting to be on both sides of it has just been an amazing experience.
Rockbridge is this beautiful rural setting. The campus kind of bleeds right into the rural areas with the back campus farm and things like that. And so students are often out and about taking advantage of our back campus forest, the farm and then getting out into some of the forested areas.
Lexington comes alive during spring term. The outing club becomes really active, doing hiking trails through the mountains. You can float down the Maury, which is a river that runs through Lexington itself. It's a really great time to be in this part of the country.
We want students to feel good about what they're doing and how they're growing and how they are becoming the people they want to be. That's student success at W&L.
One word to describe your team this year.
Happy, and that's 2.
I would say joyful,
Goofy, fun,
Selfless.
supercalifragilistic, energetic, joyful, awesome, just lovable, exuberant, hardworking.
I would also say hardworking, but I'll also say
Fun.
I would definitely say strong, both like mentally and physically.
And lastly, one word to describe your team this year.
Pretty. Wait, no, sorry. Wait, no, sorry. Energetic. Wait, is that what Carol said?
No.
Energetic.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. You can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, being a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Back from halftime here inside a Holcamp Gymnasium on the campus of Washington and Lee University. Our score after 20 minutes of basketball, Washington and Lee 30, Randolph-Macon 27. Ryan Connell and Shane Riley with you on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. We dive into some of the first half stats as you see on your screen. Now the team shot it all that well from the floor. Randolph-Macon about 32%, Washington and Lee about 31%. Each team struggled to shoot a little bit from the outside. Randolph-Macon had better luck than the Generals. 3 of 7 from long range. Washington Lee 1 of 8 from beyond the arc. Rebounding battle close to similar, just a +3 advantage for the Generals. But Washington Lee has made a lot of their work in the paint thus far. 20 of their 30 points coming in the painted area to just 12 for Randolph-Macon.
Yeah, the Generals have really been dominant inside on the post, just putting a lot of their offensive emphasis inside, as you talked about. Offensive rebounds have certainly helped that as well, leading 9-6 in that category over Randolph-Macon. But that second quarter certainly belonged to the Yellow Jackets. Still right about at the end of that final minute there, the Generals got stuck with a lineup they don't normally have out there and had some struggles in that second quarter. But both teams really matched up well so far in this game, as you see only a 3-point difference on the score, and it'll look to be more of the same in this second half.
So a couple individual statistical leaders. Mary Sleisner, 11 points, 11 rebounds, a pair of blocks in that first half. Catherine Kagi for Randolph-Macon, 11 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of steals to her credit as well. Randolph-Macon, every player that's played for them has at least 2 points tonight. They have gone a couple players into the bench, and all of them have contributed in some way. For Washington Lee, it's the exact opposite. They've gotten 28 of their 30 points from 3 players, 11 from Sleisner, 9 from Zimmerman, and 8 from McGinnis, and just 2 points from Icy Kania. But Washington Lee has played already 10 players deep, and only 4 of them have contributed in terms of scoring thus far.
And that is also another big reason why a lot of the points have come from inside the paint. Sleisner and Zimmerman both get most of their points inside. McGinnis, such a good job at driving in. The three-pointers just haven't been falling, only 1 of 8 from beyond the arc. So it really has been up to those inside players who've been able to get the job done. Not the most efficient play so far, but they still hold a 3-point lead. And as you talked about, more of a group effort from Randolph-Macon, shooting much more efficiently in that second quarter. We'll see if that carries over into the second half.
So the two teams are going to switch sides. Randolph-Macon is going to go from right to left, and Washington Lee from left to right here in the second half. Yellow Jackets, the same starting 5. Sam Smith, Bella Bruce, Catherine Kagi, Marissa Ziegler, and Mackenzie Matheny. Same for Washington Lee as well. Quinn McGinnis, Elka Preckle, Sarah Zimmerman, Riley Bryant, and Mary Sleisner. The 5 here to start the second half. Bruce trying to work against Bryant. Gets underneath the basket. Leaves it off there for Matheny, curling to the rim for 2.
Randolph-Macon immediately getting right inside, right where they want to be, and an easy 2 to get this second half underway.
Bryant skips it for McGinnis. Zimmerman here for Preckle. Preckle trying to loft it for McGinnis. Instead, it ends up with Sleisner. Fading away to the left. Hangs up on the rim, and Kagi secures rebound number 9 on the afternoon. Bruce drives underneath the basket, throws one up, and Sleisner able to knock it to Bryant. Sleisner gets a touchdown low. Leaves it off here for Bryant. Bryant with the left hand. Riley Bryant for 2.
Sleisner opted to go underneath the hoop there. Clearly not looking for a shot, looking for the pass there. Finds Bryant, and then Bryant, an excellent move to her left.
Sleisner gets her hands to that shot from Bruce and swats it away. Trying to push in transition. Zimmerman tied up, has to pass out of it. One more for McGinnis, a wing 3. Off the mark, Sleisner, offensive rebound, and her putback comes up short but gets fouled.
Sleisner picking up right where she left off in that first half. Very active offensively, getting some good passes over to her teammates. McGinnis not able to knock down that 3, but crashing the glass with Sleisner there, and back to the line she goes.
That's the 3rd foul against Catherine Kagi, and she'll take a seat here just 90 seconds into the 3rd quarter. Juliana Park will come back in for her, and Park had 2 fouls in the first half as well. And Sleisner hits the first free throw.
That's certainly something to keep an eye on as this game goes on. The foul trouble certainly become a factor. And Kagi, the leading scorer, off the floor for Randolph-Macon early in this second half. We'll see what they do offensively with her on the bench.
Have to think some more looks for Mackenzie Matheny, who's just 2 for 8 today. Has 6 points for the Yellow Jackets. Slicer went 1 of 2 at the line that time. Ziegler off for Smith. She's fouled, and they'll say the foul was well before the shot on a reach-in. And it'll be Bryant on the bump.
Still a great effort there from Smith to continue the play, not knowing where the foul was, and an excellent finish. Unfortunate there that it wasn't an and one opportunity.
Park slips out and leaves that one short. Slicer trying to go coast to coast, and she will.
Slicer is such a good job when she has the one-on-one inside, just stepping through, using that height advantage, grabbing 2 more for the Generals to bring this lead back up to 6.
Park. Cross-court pass for Smith. Smith into traffic, and a bump going to come against McGinnis, and they'll say no.
Yeah, that one looked like McGinnis may not have had the best position inside defensively, but the official's going to say that Smith traveled before any foul was committed.
Looked like the way that she spun, she bumped right into the stomach of McGinnis, and instead that caused enough for her pivot foot to slide out. Slicing her from behind the free throw line, only off the back iron. Bruce for Matheny. Deep corner 2, no. Slicner with a chance to run off the rebound. Slicner stops and banks it in.
Just a beautiful shot there from Slicner. Once again, using that height advantage, using the glass to her benefit. A beautiful look there.
Park, good positioning down low. Able to finish over the top of Zimmerman for 2.
As you said there, Ryan, Park just backs herself inside, found some good position, a nice touch off the glass for 2 more.
Bryant down low, Slicner, drop step off the bottom of the backboard, trying to save it. Gets it to McGinnis, who lays it in.
Slicer there did a good job not stepping out, not traveling there. Barely had her balance. McGinnis cutting to the hoop, Slicer finds her for 2 more.
Bruce off a pair of screens, gets an open look for 3 and rolls it home, does Bella Bruce.
Both offenses starting to wake up in this third quarter, going back and forth at each other now, shooting much more efficiently.
McGinnis curling to the bucket for 2 more.
It really is going back and forth now. McGinnis, nice touch off of the rim.
Lofts it down low for Park, cutting to the basket. She can't hit the layup. And he'll stay with Randolph-Macon. Nice vision there for Bruce. Shuttlewood and Megan Zimmerman back in. McGinnis and Bryant off. And Morgan Miller in for Marissa Ziegler. 5:26 to play here in the third. 41-34. Washington and Lee in front by 7. And a nice inbounds play to Matheny. It was left open and then got Zimmerman to jump on the ball fake and lay it in.
Randolph-Macon have had quite a few good looks off of those inbound plays.
Slicner using the bank again. She's got 2 more.
The glass has really been open this quarter for both sides. A lot of hook shots, a lot of little jumpers off of the glass, and good touch from both ends.
Miller spots up and hits for 3. Slicner throws it behind Zimmerman. She's able to track it back down. Slicner spinning right. Kick out Preckle. Smith gets her hands in there and swipes it away. The Yellow Jackets will try and quell the pace. And a foul on the floor going to come against Zimmerman, as her and Park each jockeyed for position. That'll take us to the media timeout. 4:19 to play here in the third quarter. A 4-point game, 43-39. Washington and Lee still in front of Randolph-Macon on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. .19 to play here in the third quarter. A 4-point game, 43-39. Our score, number 13, Washington and Lee in front of Randolph-Macon. Ryan Connell and Shane Riley with you on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. Shane, we talked about before the game, this is going to be a really good back-and-forth affair. Two of the best three teams in the conference, each riding a double-digit game winning streak entering the day, and it seems like the offense has really picked up here to start the second half.
Yeah, the Generals already have as many points as they did in that second quarter, and Randolph-Macon just a point behind with their second quarter mark. So both teams really come up fired up in this second half, and the offenses are showing what they got.
Matheny trying to work in the post, stepping through against Slicener, and there was a foul by Shuttlewood reaching in. Second foul against Shuttlewood, and that sends Matheny to the free throw line. Matheny 1 for 2 in her only trip to the line earlier in this game. And not the friendly roll that time. Matheny 6 points, 5 rebounds, a couple of assists, a pair of blocks as well. And she goes 0 for 2, but an offensive rebound for Park. Second chance here for Randolph-Macon. Smith, underhand layup, rolls it in, does Sam Smith.
That beautiful drive there from Smith. Not even really seeing the rim there, just throwing that one up. Underhand shot, finds the mark.
Preckles fouled by Smith. And Preckle will earn a trip to the free throw line.
Preckle so far pretty quiet offensively, no points, just a couple of shots from the field, only one rebound and a personal foul. She has a chance now to get on the board and extend this Generals lead.
First one up and good for her. Randolph-Macon has done a good job of closing out on her from beyond the arc. Preckle did a lot in Wednesday's game against EMU. Slicener grabs the offensive miss and was fouled before she could get the shot up, is what they will say. McGinnis in for Preckle. So an inbounds underneath the the Randolph-Macon basket here for Washington and Lee. Slicener, one dribble to the basket for 2 more. 20 points on the afternoon for Slicener. Her team leads by 5. Bruce tries from distance, no. Long rebound comes to McGinnis. McGinnis gonna loft it up for Slicener on the alley-oop.
Slicer right now really just taking over this game, cutting to the rim on these last couple of plays and finding some easy buckets.
Shuttlewood, it's run over by Smith. And the foul's going to go against Shuttlewood, even though she's the one that took a grunt to that. That'll be her third.
It's an awkward play there. Shuttlewood almost fell before Smith got there, and then Smith's drive just directed her right into the body of Shuttlewood, who was just already on the ground. Not much Shuttlewood could do there, but commit the foul.
Kania in the game for Shuttlewood. We'll see. Emmy and Byers into the game for Randolph-Macon, and Slicner's going to get called for a foul reaching in on that one. And we'll get a little bit of the old Bronx cheer out of the Randolph-Macon crowd on a foul against Slicner.
Slicner there playing along with the fun there, trying to hype the crowd up a little bit.
Byers, a 6'1 junior from Louisa, Virginia, has only played in 11 games this season, averages about 5 minutes per game. Played a lot against Washington Lee last year because has more of a similar frame like Slicner to try and match up with her, and the way that Slicner's been able to kind of find her offensive mojo here in the second half. Coach Burke Eberhardt trying to go for a different look and provide a different defender against Slicner.
We'll see how Byers fares up defensively. Not currently matched up with Slicner.
Slicner against Park. The turnaround for 2 more. 24 points, 17 rebounds for Mary Slicner. 2.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. An 8-point lead for Washington and Lee. Matches their largest of the afternoon. Bruce barreling into Zimmerman. Offensive foul.
Zimmerman, a great job there, just holding her position. Bruce getting a little bit too physical on the offensive end. But it's important to note that KG's been out since she picked up that third foul early in this third quarter, and the Generals have done a good job taking advantage of that, building their lead back up to 8 since she's been off the floor.
That foul against Bruce, it becomes her third personal, so she will take a seat. And we'll keep it here for the timeout, but Randolph-Macon using a timeout. We'll have just 2 remaining with 2:13 left here in the third in an 8-point game. This has matched the largest lead of the day for Washington and Lee. You have to think Coach Burke Eberhardt really knows that this is on the brink of a very important junction of this game. A few more buckets for Washington and Lee, and it stretches into double figures, but if you could get a stop and even some good offense down the floor, you're still in this game just a few possessions away.
Yeah, an excellent timeout by the Randolph-Macon coach, just calming the team down a little bit, letting them catch their breath. Slicner's been dominant these last few possessions offensively, and the Generals overall offensively this quarter, shooting almost 70% from the field, so it's certainly a stark contrast to that first half. Randolph-Macon are also doing a good job offensively as well. They're just not able to keep up right now with this Generals offense. You got to think for Coach Burke Eberhardt, just calming the team down a little bit, giving them a little bit of motivation, letting them catch their breath, and trying to send them back out there with a better defensive plan for Slicner.
So it'll be Washington and Lee basketball. For Randolph-Macon, we will see Ziegler with Miller, Park, Byers, and Smith. McGinnis, Actor, Preckle, Kania, and Slicner the 5 for the Generals. A little over 2 minutes left here in the third. Kania, nice touch pass for Slicner. Won't get it to roll home, and Randolph-Macon grabs the miss.
It's a very rare miss from Slicner right at the base of the cup. Kania, though, with an excellent pass that Slicner was able to go up and grab.
They teach you when the defense fronts the post to throw the lob over the top, and that was well executed by Kania. Park steps out and hits a straightaway triple.
The three-pointers really starting to fall now for Randolph-Macon. Not very characteristic of their team, but 6 for 11 on the day, 3 of 4 this quarter.
McGinnis hard to the bucket. She's hit and earns another trip back to the free throw line. Foul goes against Ziegler, which is her first. We'll see Matheny back into the game for Byers. Randolph-Macon just trying to keep it within a couple of possessions like they have for much of this afternoon. They've only led a couple of times in this game, no more than a 3-point lead late in the second quarter. The Generals have led by as many as 8, but it has stayed within a few possessions in either direction throughout the duration of this game. McGinnis makes the first, second one rolls out. 6-point game, 51-45. Under a minute and a half to play in the third. Park down low against Actor. And Park just imposing her will in the post.
Yeah, Park just too big of a body there for Actor to really get any defensive position on it. An easy layup there for Park, bringing this one back within 4.
And Park there caught beat on the drive and picks up a blocking foul, which will be her 3rd personal. And since Washington lead now in the bonus here in the 3rd, Park will rotate off. Kagi comes back in with those 3 fouls. She's been on the bench for about 8 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Picked it up with about 8.5 minutes to play and checks back in with under a minute left here in the 3rd.
You got to think Randolph-Macon likes where they are, despite her being off the court this entire quarter. Still only down 6 points. When your leading scorer sat most of the 3rd quarter, you got to be happy if you're Coach Burke Eberhardt.
So Lauren Actor goes 2 for 2 at the line. Washington's lead is 6. Schleisner takes his seat, and Zimmerman comes back in. Smith trying to loft it down low for Matheny. Last touch by Washington and Lee.
Macon here still with a 2-for-1 opportunity if they get a quick shot off.
Kagi, too much, gets her own miss. Second chance opportunity, falls.
Kagi checking back into the game and immediately making an impact. A big offensive rebound, and then finishes it off with the layup.
Washington and Lee going to slow the pace. Shot clock turned off here for the rest of the 3rd quarter. As McGinnis will dribble in front of her own bench. Under 10 seconds to play, and the action starts. She'll settle for a 3, left wide open and hits.
That's just excellent awareness there by McGinnis, understanding what the defense is giving her, not needing to go into a play if they're giving you shot space for the 3, and knocks it down.
Just the 2nd made 3 of the afternoon for Washington and Lee. A big one, though. It puts them up by 7 at the end of the 3rd quarter, 56-49. Our score. We'll have the final 10 minutes when we return right here on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. 56-49, our score. Number 13, Washington and Lee in front of Randolph-Macon at the start of the 4th quarter here in Lexington. Ryan Connell and Shane Riley with you on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. For Washington and Lee, Mary Schleisner, 24 points, 17 rebounds through 3 quarters. Quinn McGinnis, 16 points for Washington and Lee. Catherine Kagi, who sat on the bench for much of that 3rd quarter with 3 fouls, 13 points, 10 boards to lead the way for Randolph-Macon. She's back out there to start the 4th for the Yellow Jackets. It's Washington and Lee ball here to start the final quarter. Bryant for Zimmerman, top of the key. Gonna weave her way through traffic, and it's blocked out of play by Matheny. And it stays with the Generals. And some confusion, perhaps, between the scores table and the officials, and just want to make sure things are situated. They'll call a second ref over to make sure everything lines up and checks out. So a little bit of a stoppage here, about 15 seconds into the 4th quarter. Washington and Lee's got McGinnis, Preckle, Zimmerman, Bryant, and Slicener. They're 5 starters on the floor. So too does Randolph-Macon. That's Smith with Kagi, Ziegler, Matheny, and just one change. It'll be, check that, it is still Bruce out there. And after a little bit of discussion, seems like everything is good to continue. So just shoring things up at the scores table, perhaps just checking to make sure there was the right amount of timeouts and score. So there was no official announcement made on if anything was changed. So we continue as we have been. Washington Lee ball. McGinnis to the basket, and she's fouled. To be Ziegler on the one again.
McGinnis doing an excellent job today, picking her way through this Randolph-Macon defense and drawing some tough fouls. This is her 4th trip to the line.
Well, McGinnis has been the secondary option for Washington and Lee today. Knocks down the first. I mentioned it at halftime how Washington and Lee had 28 of their 30 first-half points between 3 players. It was Slicener, McGinnis, and Sarah Zimmerman. They still are the 3 leading scorers for the Generals here in the second half, but McGinnis now with 18. 9-point lead for Washington and Lee, 58-49. Matches the largest of the day, and that one last off the foot of Preckle and out. They'll be down in the corner for Randolph-Macon to inbound. Will be Morgan Miller over there to insert it. Smith and Miller exchange a handoff. Comes back to her for a wing 3. Miller doesn't hit anything. Smith will try her luck straight away, and Sam Smith delivers.
The 3-point shot really has been the Yellow Jackets' friend today. Over 50% from beyond the arc, and we'll see how that shot develops and plays a factor as this game winds down.
McGinnis picked up her dribble. Will have to outlet it back out for Preckle. Slicener inside the free throw line. Extra pass for Bryant, and right through her hands.
Yeah, that one with a little bit of speed from Slicener. Bryant unable to corral that one. She would have had a wide open layup had she been able to grab that, but that winds up as a Generals turnover and Randolph-Macon ball.
Just the 7th turnover of the day for Washington Lee. Randolph-Macon only with 8. Bruce in the corner. Back iron, and Slicener the rebound. Slicener, skip pass, Preckle, a corner triple. Short, offensive board, Zimmerman. She's got a lane to the basket, no.
Kagi did a good job of getting a hand in there, forcing Zimmerman. It's a tougher shot than what she was expecting, and she was not able to hit that one.
Bruce for Matheny. Thought about it, now we'll take it, and be too much.
And Randolph-Macon already a big emphasis on the 3-pointers this quarter. Already their 4th attempt from beyond the arc in just 3 minutes, or even 2 minutes in this quarter.
And then a pair of turnovers, one for either side. McGinnis lost the dribble. Randolph-Macon tries to go quick and throws it out of play.
Offsetting turnovers, if you will.
7:51 left here in the 4th. 6-point game, 58-52. One of the things Randolph-Macon has done so well this season is holding opponents under 60 points. All but 2 opponents have scored less than 60 points against them. The 2 teams that have were ranked opponents. Smith cuts off the pass and gets the easy layup on the other end.
Smith just read that play like a book all the way through. A little handoff to Preckle, unable to get through. Smith knocks it away and have the easiest 2 points of her night.
Slicener, a lot of traffic in the lane and a foul on the floor. That's going to go against... That's against Kagi. That's her 4th. And that's who it's going to go against.
For Coach Burke Eberhardt opting to leave Kagi in the game here with those 4 fouls. So trusting her, 5th-year senior, with all that experience to not be too aggressive and pick up that 5th foul.
Inbound, Slicener, turnaround, no good. Morgan Miller was pleading the case that was on her as 21, not number 20 in Kagi. Brooke Eberhardt still pleading her case to the official. Matheny underneath the basket, able to hit. Randolph-Macon brings it back down to 2, 58-56. Connell on her way to the basket and a foul on the floor. And that's on number 21, Morgan Miller. Will be her second. Inbounds play for the Generals. Zimmerman, now Slicener, double team comes, able to step through and roll it in for 2 more.
Slicener just got enough on that one to get it up and over the rim. That one rolls in, gets the Generals their first points of this quarter and up to 60 on the day.
Matheny, a deep 2 in the corner. Mackenzie Matheny starting to heat up. Zimmerman quickly the other way, right at Kagi, no. And a foul going against Slicener over the back.
And the momentum right now really finding its way to this Yellow Jackets side. Doing a really good job getting buckets early in this fourth quarter. The Generals still with just that one make. And Randolph-Macon now with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Yellow Jackets have led just twice today. Both of them came in the second quarter. Last lead was 27-24. Zimmerman trying to deny on the entry, and a pretty late whistle that time, but Slicener, or I should say Zimmerman, had to go through Kagi to try and knock away that pass.
Zimmerman not too pleased with that foul call. Thought she got her hand on the ball first. But those ones are tougher officials not to call, especially when you reach over the other player.
Kagi, soft roll, all tied at 60. 15 points, 13 rebounds for Catherine Kagi. Slicener on the other end, skips it. McGinnis in the corner. How about another? All 3 made threes tonight from Quinn McGinnis as she's pumped in a career-high 21.
McGinnis has just been huge for this Generals team. Timely threes. The end of that third quarter, you saw her knock that one down, and then another one here to give the Generals a lead back.
Bruce tried to answer on the other end, could not. McGinnis again to the basket, no. And Slicener over the back. That'll be her third foul.
Slicener with no fouls going into halftime. Only one coming into this quarter and a couple of quick fouls to get her up to 3.
So that'll be immediate timeout. 5:08 to play in the fourth as Washington and Lee takes a timeout. 63-60 our score. Washington and Lee ahead by 3 with 5:08 left in the fourth on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. 5:08 to play in the fourth quarter, a 3-point game. Number 13, Washington and Lee 63, Randolph-Macon 60. It's Yellow Jackets ball after the offensive foul against Slicener. Slicener, Sarah Zimmerman, McGinnis, Preckle, and Kania, the 5 on the floor for the Generals. It's Kagi with Smith, Miller, Bruce, and Matheny for Randolph-Macon here out of the Washington and Lee timeout. Each team with 2 timeouts left, a 3-point advantage for the Generals. Sam Smith brings it up the floor here for Randolph-Macon. Both teams finding more offense here in the second half. Washington and Lee a better third quarter. The Yellow Jackets stronger in the fourth. And a foul going to go against Slicener, and that's going to be her 4th.
Slicer, 3 of those fouls coming in this quarter. It's not what you hope to see if you're a Generals fan. Slicer will check out, sit on the bench with those 4 fouls.
It's one of those, too, where you just picked up your 3rd on the other end and decided to contest a shot that perhaps didn't need a whole lot of contesting. Well, Matheny misses the first free throw. One more coming here for Mackenzie Matheny, and she'll drop that in. So Kagi is able to exit with 4 fouls now, and they can bring Juliana Park back in.
Park's had an excellent day off the bench for the Yellow Jackets. 12 points, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc.
Zimmerman going right at Park. Turning to the left, no. Rebound tipped around, and Smith able to settle. Bruce stops and hits, tied at 63. So the Generals and Yellow Jackets knotted up once more. Kania underneath the basket, able to get it to Zimmerman. Falling away, and she is fouled, and that's going to go against Park.
For Park, that's her 4th foul as well. 2 players now for Randolph-Macon. 1 away from fouling out.
Yeah, both now Kagi and Park with 4. Slicener has 4 on the bench for the Generals. Zimmerman at the free throw line has 3. As the first one for her rolls in. Brings Sarah Zimmerman to 10 points on the day. That's all she'll get. 64-63, 4 minutes remaining here in Lexington. Smith on the wing, trying to feed Park down low. Fading away, no. Rebound, tapped around, and Zimmerman there to grab it.
Randolph-Macon with position inside there for the offensive rebound, but that one takes an unfortunate deflection. Generals come away with that defensive board.
Kania, one more pass, Preckle. 8 to shoot here for Washington and Lee. Kania goes right into Miller, and she stands tall defensively.
An offense just stagnating there for the Generals. Kania forcing herself inside, but Miller did a good job standing strong and getting the block.
Smith at Actor, and she's fouled. Sam Smith going to earn a trip to the free throw line with 3:07 left in the 4th. Kagi's going to come back in for Park. Smith will step up to the free throw line here for the first time today. 9 points for Smith, 3 rebounds, and she hits the first. Top free throw shooter on Randolph-Macon at 71%. Has a chance to vault her team in front. And she will. First lead for the Yellow Jackets since the second quarter, 65-64. And it comes with 3 minutes left in the 4th. Actor leaves it off McGinnis. Now Kania. Zimmerman for Kania. Straight away 3. No.
It's a good look there from Kania, but again, the Generals just really struggling from beyond the arc. McGinnis still the only General with a 3-point make.
Matheny, step behind the free throw line. Back iron. And Kania there to grab it. Not much numbers, so she'll slow it up. Schleissner waiting to check back in at the table with 4 fouls. Zimmerman to the right hand, all the way to the basket for 2.
And with Schleissner off the floor, Zimmerman has to be the number 1 option for this Generals team. McGinnis has had a great day, but Zimmerman's height and driving ability is exactly what the Generals need. Well, now only up 1.
Kagi, elbow to the left, off the rim. Zimmerman able to save it, and then they say she's out of bounds.
Just unfortunate there, Zimmerman's momentum carrying her out of bounds. Great defensive effort, though, forcing Kagi into a tough shot.
And now the officials coming together here, maybe to talk about this. And they'll say a 20-second reset on the shot clock since it was not a full change of possession. 66-65, 1:48 left. Washington Lee ahead by 1. Kagi working on the baseline, and she's bumped by Zimmerman. Since Washington Lee has already committed over 5 fouls, it's 2 free throws here for the Yellow Jackets and Kagi. And that's the 4th foul against Zimmerman.
Foul certainly playing a huge factor in this 4th quarter for both sides. Randolph-Macon right now, the beneficiary of these calls. They've been knocking down their free throws this quarter.
Okay, steps up to the line for 1 more. And it rolls home for her, 67-66. Yellow Jackets back in front. You asked for a good game before it started, Shane. You've been traded to one here this afternoon. So the best teams in the ODAC going head-to-head. Schleissner in the lane, turning to the right. She's fouled and won! The friendly roll for Mary Schleissner, and a chance at the 3-point play.
And a huge shot there from Schleissner. Just a nice move inside. We've seen that all day, and then the soft touch gets that one to roll all the way around the rim a couple times before it finally finds the bottom of the net.
And 1 free throw for Schleissner. Clanks off the back rim. But still puts Washington Lee in front, 68-67. 1:15 left. Smith driving baseline for Bruce on the wing. That one got deflected. The shot clock should have never reset, and they're going to have to switch it. And so they will. There'll be 10 seconds left, and that one came up well short of the rim, but an inadvertent shot clock reset. So now with 59.6 seconds left, just 10 seconds remain for the Yellow Jackets, and a side out of bounds. Bruce in for Smith. Smith gonna spot up. No, Shuttlewood the rebound. And Washington and Lee can settle.
Almost some confusion there between Shuttlewood and McGinnis.
Just a 1-point game. Randolph-Macon, no need to foul. Trying to come up with a defensive stand. Zimmerman off a screen from Schleissner, no, and Schleissner grabs the miss and is fouled. Randolph-Macon wants a jump ball, but a whole lot of arm getting grabbed.
It's a big call here who that foul's on.
And that's on Catherine Kagi, and that's her 5th. So Kagi exits here with 35.3 seconds left after 17 points and 13 rebounds. She fouls out of this game. And it sends Mary Schleissner to the line for a pair of free throws. Schleissner 28 points and 19 rebounds, and a couple of big free throws looming here. First one, no good. Even a split at the line, at least keeps it a 2-point game. And she'll make the second. Randolph-Macon will use one of their final 2 timeouts. They can also advance the ball past half court. And so they can pick on which side they want to inbounds from. Trailing by 2, 69-67 with 35.3 seconds left. And so they'll use a full timeout.
And you got to think for Randolph-Macon, they have shot the ball well from beyond the arc this game, but Certainly not the best this quarter, only 1 of 7. They came out early looking to get those three-point shots up. They weren't falling, sort of gone away from it. As this quarter's gone on, you got to expect that they're going to try to get 2 points here, as the shot really hasn't been falling this quarter.
And especially with both Zimmerman and Schleissner, each with 4 personal fouls, getting to the basket and putting them in a position to make a mistake defensively. When you're down 2, it's not a bad proposition. And the way that Smith can craft her way to the basket, Matheny down in the low post as well. Now Kagi out of this game. Juliana Park provides an outside presence to knock down some shots as well. So there's a multitude of options, but you have to think getting to the basket here is almost paramount for Randolph-Macon. Well, inbound from the near side. Bruce with 35.3 seconds left. They'll come in for Smith and go right back to Bruce. She has a lane to the bucket, gets Schleissner in the air and blocks it out of play.
An excellent timing there from Schleissner. Jumps up in the air, almost floats as Bruce puts that shot up, and then just perfect timing not to get any contact on her hand. All ball there and a nice block.
Schleissner able to get a hand to it, and it falls out of play. The Generals want a foul because Schleissner had no space to run after the ball, but instead it'll be an out of bounds for Randolph-Macon right at half court. 28.5 seconds left. And Randolph-Macon's going to use their final timeout.
Yeah, Randolph-Macon did not look on the same page at all on that inbound. Smith wanted to get the ball into Matheny, but Matheny not looking on the far side, forcing that wayward pass. Schleissner just unable to get to it.
So the last out-of-bounds play that Randolph-Macon ran out of timeout, you can see it right here. Bruce, the inbounder, gets to the basket, gets Schleissner in the air, but able to time it and block it out of play. Then on the ensuing inbounds that was tipped last by the Generals out, and so then they get it right at half court. They inbound the ball and then call a timeout 2 seconds later, so another 2 seconds come off the clock. So where we stand right now, 26.1 seconds left. A 2-point game, 69-67. It's Randolph-Macon ball. They're out of timeouts, though, and they have about a 5-second differential between the shot and game clock. You don't necessarily need to go quick, but you know you're going to need a basket and potentially a stop on the defensive end as well.
And the objective is still the same. Try to get inside. They did get the look with Bruce, but we saw that highlight with Schleissner. A great block there. But again, with Zimmerman and Schleissner, as we talked about, with those 4 fouls, going inside should be the objective for the Yellow Jackets here.
So they will inbound right at half court. Bruce, Park, Smith, Miller, and Matheny for Randolph-Macon. It comes in for Sam Smith. Ball screen to either side. She'll go to the right. Park down low against Zimmerman. Finishes over the top of her. And Washington and Lee will take a timeout right after the bucket to advance the ball.
Now the Generals, with their chance on the offensive end, the score all knotted up. Shot clock is turned off. Theoretically, the Generals could opt for the last shot here, not giving Randolph-Macon a chance to respond if they were to make it or if they were to miss for a chance for a game winner.
So Washington and Lee takes the timeout after Juliana Park. It's the go-ahead basket. 18.3 seconds left, and you almost think you have to hold for a final shot here. No reason to go early, because in the chance that you do miss, you don't want to give up an opportunity the other way.
Ball's probably going to be in the hands of McGinnis up on the top, just running it out. You got to think they're going to try to get into a play with about 8 seconds left on the clock, just so they have enough time to get a couple of looks. But as we talked about, if they do get the look that they want, not leaving enough time on the clock for Randolph-Macon to get a good look on their own end.
So what the discussion is here is, do they have the ability to move the ball up or not? Because by the time the timeout was called, the ball was already in play. Therefore, then you cannot advance it. It has to be advanced after a made shot or at a dead ball. And so now they're going to look at the review to see if potentially when the timeout was called and if the ball was in play. Because if the ball is in play, then you have to inbound from underneath the basket and go the length of the floor. And that changes kind of the way that you set up things on drawing something either right out of the timeout or potentially having to work it up the floor, you would have to think maybe not a lot of full court pressure defense against you, but at least take some of the time you have remaining off the clock just to bring it across half court. So they're over at the monitor taking a look to see when the timeout was called and if the ball was in play or not, because that will affect if they can advance the ball across half court.
Yeah, watching it live, it looked like the ball was already inbounded. Coach Kemp trying to get that timeout off quick. Generals on the court also playing very quick. Perhaps not to their advantage here, but still plenty of time. No worries about getting the ball up the floor with 18 seconds left. Just as you talked about, Ryan, perhaps change your strategy for what play you might want to call and where you want your players on the floor.
And it looks like they will keep the ball underneath the basket. So Washington Lee will not be able to advance the ball, and we'll have to at least eat a little bit of time off. And since they will say that the ball came inbounds when the timeout was called, they have to take 0.3 seconds off the clock, and they will. So there'll be 18 seconds even here, tied at 69. And it's Washington and Lee basketball between Randolph-Macon and W&L. Thanks for joining us. We've got a great one here. 69 all as Washington Lee going to try and hold for one final shot. McGinnis brings it across half court with 10 seconds left. Preckle on the wing. Back to McGinnis. Trying to feed it to Slicener. Through her hands. The Generals turn it over. Randolph-Macon going to hoist from half court to beat the buzzer off the rim. A great try from Morgan Miller. Comes up short, and we're going to overtime.
And that was quite the hectic possession there for the Generals. Not really getting looks that they want. Moving the ball around the paint, and then a wayward pass inside to Slicener. Good pressure by Randolph-Macon, and then Miller just inches away there from a half-court buzzer beater to win it. But we're going to overtime, all tied up at 69.
So to reset the game for you, it's 69 all. Washington and Lee and Randolph-Macon, two of the top three teams in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference standings. The only matchup they play against each other this season, and it's going to overtime. Mary Slicener, 29 points, 19 rebounds for Washington and Lee. Catherine Kagi, 17 points, 13 points for Randolph-Macon, but she fouled out in the fourth quarter. Slicener's got 4 personals. So too does Sarah Zimmerman for Washington and Lee, who has 12 points and 7 rebounds. Juliana Park, the second leading scorer for Randolph-Macon with 14 points, also in foul trouble with 4 fouls. And Quinn McGinnis, a career-high 21 for Washington and Lee. She is not in foul trouble, but a lot of the other contributing factors in this game have been marred a little bit by foul trouble, and Kagi will have to be on the bench here for the Yellow Jackets as she fouled out with just about under a minute left in that fourth quarter. But we head to overtime, tied at 69 between Randolph-Macon and Washington and Lee.
Both teams, as we talked about with that foul trouble, are going to have to display some discipline this quarter, knowing when to contest, but also knowing when it may not be worth it picking up that 5th foul, especially with the 5-minute overtime period. Fouling out early in this, players on either side could prove to be vital in determining this game.
So the teams will go the same direction. Washington left to right, Randolph-Macon right to left. Slicener and Matheny for the tip, and Slicener wins it back for Washington and Lee. McGinnis off for Shuttlewood. She's got a room to the basket. The floater in the lane for Brianna Shuttlewood. First points of the day for her come as the first 2 points in overtime.
That's a look that the Generals have been trying to get all day off the motion offense, and finally able to get a nice floater by Shuttlewood.
Matheny going to get a touch in the paint. Falling away against Slicener. Comes up short. Offensive rebound for Byers. No shot clock reset. Smith comes up short, and Slicener grabs the miss. A 2-on-1 fast break. Zimmerman for Preckle, right back to Zimmerman. She lays it in.
Great ball movement there between Zimmerman and Preckle. Preckle opting to not cut to the rim, giving Zimmerman all the space that she needed to get inside.
Ziegler back off for Smith. Now Matheny. She's got a step on Slicener, able to block it. A fight for the loose ball, and then there's going to be a foul after the play. And that'll be the 5th on Mary Slicener, who fouls out of this game.
That's not what you want to see for the Generals right there. Slicener, a great defensive effort on the block and then just pursuing the ball after the fact. Just a little bit too aggressive there with her hands. And she'll foul out.
29 points, 20 rebounds, the final line for Schleissner. She has 5 blocks in the game as well. And she fouls out here about a minute into overtime. And since the double bonus rolls over from the fourth quarter, it'll be free throws here for Mackenzie Matheny.
Now it's even more important for the Generals that Zimmerman doesn't pick up that 5th foul.
So now each player for their respective teams that have been the star and the best player for their team here today are both sitting on the bench, fouled out here in overtime. So Matheny goes 1 of 2, 73-70, and it's going to see who's going to step up from either side here in the extra session to come away on top.
It has been McGinnis and Zimmerman for the Generals when Schleissner has not been on the floor or not involved in the play. A little bit of miscommunication there.
Nearly a turnover. Preckle will spot up for 3. Have it roll out. And Randolph-Macon will grab the miss. Miller off for Bruce. Matheny working against Actor. They kick it out. Park from straight away. Front iron. 2 teammates jostling for it. And a tie-up. And the possession arrow favors the Yellow Jackets.
And for the Generals, they're not really good defensive box outs there. A couple of unmarked Yellow Jackets players there. Good job there, though. Still forcing a jump ball. Not an easy layup on the putback. Switching the possession arrow.
Park gets it in. Goes right at Actor, and she's fouled. So Juliana Park heads to the free throw line. Second foul against Actor, and Park step up to the free throw line first time today. And hits the first. Just 54% on the season at the line, but over a relatively limited sample size for Juliana Park. She had 15 points on the day. Make it 16 after a pair of makes. Back to a 1-point game, 73-72, under 3 minutes to play here in overtime. McGinnis directing the traffic for the Generals. Actor around for McGinnis, driving baseline, and it'll be a foul. It'll be on the floor, but it'll be guaranteed free throws anyways. And that'll be the 4th foul against Bella Bruce.
With Schleissner off of the court, you got to look for McGinnis to do a lot more of that. She does such a good job this game and in general getting to the line and drawing contact.
And McGinnis hits the first. 22 points today for Quinn McGinnis. She already surpassed her career high. 6 of 12 from the floor, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, and now 7 of 9 at the free throw line. Make it 8 of 10, and her team leads by 3, 75-72.
Just really efficient work there from McGinnis this game, doing just about everything that Coach Kemp could have asked of her.
2.5 minutes remain here in overtime. Park, a flare out for 3. Nothing but net. Big shot for Juliana Park. And we're all tied at 75. Actor with her back to the basket. Preckle sets her feet off a screen, rolls home a 3.
And Preckle coming right back and responded in that Park 3. Park's been huge off the bench for the Yellow Jackets, but Preckle finally able to get uncorked from the field.
2 minutes left here in overtime, 78-75. Park closed off on her way to the basket. Bruce gonna take it to the hoop and lay it in for 2. Each team much better offensively in the second half here in overtime than they were in the first 20 minutes. And lots of different players stepping up all over the floor. Zimmerman, Euro step, lofts it up, short. 1:20 left, 1-point game, 78-77. Washington and Lee, the slight lead. Smith off a screen, trying to get to the basket. Smith is fouled.
And once Smith gets positioned inside like that, it's difficult not to foul or give up the easy layup.
And they're going to call that on Sarah Zimmerman, which will be her 5th foul. So she exits as well.
It's an interesting call there. It looked like that one might have been on Preckle, who was the primary defender of Smith there, but officials going to call that one on Zimmerman, and that's big for the Generals now. 2 of their top scorers fouling out.
So Sam Smith steps up to the line here for Randolph-Macon. The Yellow Jackets just 13 of 20 at the free throw line today, 65%. But Smith ice cold on the first. Ties it at 78, has a chance to loft the Yellow Jackets back in front. And she will. 79-78. Randolph-Macon ahead by 1.
The Generals are going to need McGinnis or somebody else who's not used to this role to step up here.
Shuttlewood looking for Actor, cutting to the basket, lays it in.
And a great backdoor cut there by Actor. Reading the defense very well there. Shuttlewood, a beautiful pass inside, and Actor puts the Generals back up by 1.
What a high execution game this has been. 80-79, clinical stuff, and a foul on the entry pass, which will send Mackenzie Matheny to the line for 2 free throws.
Saw a similar call earlier with Zimmerman reaching in, trying to grab the ball. It's like Pettigrove there got a little bit more of the hands of Matheny, and now Matheny a chance to propel Randolph-Macon back in front.
Matheny, first one clanks out. Just 3 of 9 at the free throw line today for Mackenzie Matheny. 12 points, 8 rebounds. It has not been her night at the line. Has a chance, though, to still try and tie this game. 36.6 seconds left in overtime. And she hits it to knot it at 80. So Washington Lee calls a timeout. They can advance the ball. They will do so and ask for it in front of their own bench with 36.6 seconds left. Tied at 8-8 here in overtime.
This game has just been about everything that we could have asked for. Back and forth all throughout. Not even any team with a double-digit lead at any point in this game. The biggest lead for the Generals, just 8 points. It's been close all the way, nail-biting. Top scorers for both sides fouling out in this one. A lot of foul trouble still for Randolph-Macon with Bruce and Park on 4 fouls. So you got to think that for the Generals, it might be worth going at those players who've really come alive for Randolph-Macon in this overtime period.
Juliana Park pacing the way now for Randolph-Macon with 19 points on 3 of 5 from long range, 7 of 13 from the floor. She's one of 5 Yellow Jackets players in double figures. Kagi with 17 and 13 rebounds sitting on the bench, fouled out. Matheny's got 12 points. Bruce has 10, and Sam Smith with 13. For Washington and Lee, Mary Slicer had 29 and 20, but she fouled out of this game in overtime. Sarah Zimmerman, 14.7 rebounds. She also fouled out. Quinn McGinnis, 23 points for Washington and Lee. She's still in the game for the Generals, and you have to think that's perhaps where the ball goes here with how well she has played this afternoon. It'll be McGinnis to inbound, Shuttlewood, Actor, Pettigrove, and Preckle for Washington and Lee. It's Matheny, Park, Smith, Miller, and Bruce for Randolph-Macon. So McGinnis will set it up here at the logo. 30 seconds left in overtime. All knotted at 80 apiece.
For Randolph-Macon here, you got to think that Coach Brooke Eberhardt insisting on not fouling here, playing strong defense, but not allowing the Generals to try to get free ones at the line.
McGinnis to the basket, no. Rebound tipped around. Randolph-Macon grabs it and calls a timeout. The Generals wanted a potential foul, but now Randolph-Macon will have a chance for one final shot. We'll take a look at what the Generals just ran. McGinnis got the step, just couldn't get anything close, and the rebound tipped around enough where Matheny was able to grab it, and the wherewithal from the Yellow Jackets to quickly call a timeout. And we'll do so here with 9.4 seconds left.
They have absolutely plenty of time to get any kind of shot that they want to look for. Going to advance the ball up to their own half of the court. And really no need to rush on the play. Get the ball inbounded. and get the shot look that they want. For the Generals, it's imperative that they don't foul with it being in the double bonus.
9.4 seconds left. Randolph-Macon basketball. The chance to try and go ahead or even win the game here right at the end. McGinnis, Shuttlewood, Preckle, Actor, and Pettigrew for the Generals. For Randolph-Macon, Park, Matheny, Miller, Smith, and Bruce. It'll be Bruce to inbound near side. 9.4 seconds left, knotted at 80. Bruce gets it in for Miller. Miller trying to feed Park down low. Park, the shot short. Pettigrew grabs the miss. Just tries to throw it away. And we will head to a double overtime period, tied at 80.
And the Randolph-Macon found the matchup that they wanted. Park had done such a good job in this game when she had Actor on her, getting position inside and finishing. But that time, Actor stands her ground. And we're going to a double overtime, tied up at 80.
So both teams got a relatively solid look. McGinnis cutting to the basket on one end, Park posting up, fade away along the baseline on another. Neither team able to convert in the final 30 seconds, so we play on to double overtime.
And it's just the nature of how this game has gone. Both teams trading punches back and forth and just unable to ice the game there on either side. Both teams looking for fouls there on those plays as well, but just not getting the calls that they want. And another 5-minute period to go. Got to look at that foul trouble, though, for Randolph-Macon. Still Bruce and Park with those 4 fouls. The Generals have to emphasize that they want to go after them. Try to put some pressure on them and get their top scorer out of the game in Park.
So, to reset your game here again, start a double overtime, 80 all. No Mary Slicener, no Sarah Zimmerman for Washington Elite. Both of them have fouled out. Catherine Kagi also fouling out for Randolph-Macon. Both Bruce and Park, 4 fouls for the Yellow Jackets. So we will see a much different lineup here for both teams here to start this game, or start this second overtime period. And now just trying to situate to make sure that everyone is still going the right way, and they're still going to continue to go the same way everyone's been going. Emion Byers out there for the tip, Lauren Actor for Washington and Lee. As we get ready to start double overtime here in Lexington, all knotted at 80. Washington and Lee wins the tip. Preckle controls, and the Generals can reset. McGinnis, Preckle, Kania, Bryant, and Actor, the 5 on the floor for Washington and Lee. Kania straight away. The foul. Going to be an offensive foul. Not a whole lot of conviction with that call, as Kania just stood her ground as a screen and will be whistled for the offensive foul.
A lot of backlash from Generals fans and Coach Brittany Kemp there. As you talked about, Ryan, Kania just standing her ground. Smith falling into that screen, hitting the deck, and the official's going to award the offensive foul.
And then another one as Byers slips up on her way to the basket. Tangled amongst the crowd. And that goes against Riley Bryant. And that sends Byers to the line for free throws. Emion Byers 0 for 3 at the free throw line this season. Not many attempts, but has a chance to at least give Randolph-Macon an early lead here in the second overtime. It's free throw number 1. And goes 1 of 2. Bryant able to grab it, keep her feet in. Washington and Lee can push the tempo. McGinnis for Kania. Bryant, the trailer, has room to the bucket. She'll get fouled and go to the line for 2.
Yeah, good drive take there by Bryant, getting past her defender in Byers. And drawing the contact, getting to the line.
So now Riley Bryant steps up to the free throw line. She has just 2 points on the day and clanks out the first.
A big second free throw here, trying to knot this one up. It's important to match everything in overtime with such a short period.
And it rolls all the way around and out. Empty trip for Bryant. 81-80 Randolph-Macon. Smith. Ziegler back to Smith. Matheny, jump ball, and the possession arrow favors Randolph-Macon.
Good effort there, though, by McGinnis, getting in there, forcing some trouble underneath the hoop. Another jump ball in favor of Randolph-Macon.
Smith. In the corner, Ziegler. Matheny back out for an open Smith. No. Long rebound. Matheny tracks it down. Second life here for the Yellow Jackets. Smith spinning in the lane, lofts it up, stuck on the front rim. Last touch off the leg of Randolph-Macon, and it's Washington and Lee basketball.
And the rebounds have certainly gone in the favor of Randolph-Macon since Slicer and Zimmerman have checked out of the game, but good position inside again there for the Yellow Jackets. Just an unfortunate bounce gives the ball back to Washington and Lee.
Brianna Shuttlewood back in the game for Icy Kania. Shuttlewood in the lane, off the mark. Actor offensive rebound and a foul. I'll see who that's on, and that's on number 23, Ziegler. They caught Actor when she grabbed the rebound, and so that sends Lauren Actor to the free throw line. 3:20 left here in overtime period number 2. And Actor misses the front end. Lauren Actor, 4 points on the day, 2 of 3 now at the free throw line. And able to rattle in the second to tie the game at 81. Smith will take her time across the timeline. Matheny, left elbow. They go on the drive. Matheny, the follow away. Rolls over the front rim for 2.
Matheny, another good job getting good post position inside. Bryant doing all she could without fouling there, but Matheny, soft touch, finds the mark.
Bryant gets her defender in the air. That one deflects off Randolph-Macon, and it'll stay Washington and Lee basketball. Cap Pettigrove will come back in for Riley Bryant. Actor in the corner for McGinnis. McGinnis to the basket, high off the window, no. And a foul against Pettigrove on the rebound.
McGinnis not really with the best angle for that layup there. Similar to the shot that she took at the end of last overtime period. But Pettigrove's foul there, putting the Yellow Jackets back on the line.
So that sends Mackenzie Matheny back to the free throw line. Matheny 4 for 10 at the line here this afternoon. That hits the first. Matheny will ready herself for one more, trying to stretch this to a 2-possession game. She cannot do it. 84-81. Randolph-Macon leads by 3. As the most they have led by at any point today. Matches what they had in the second quarter. McGinnis lost her footing, kept her dribble alive. Shuttlewood looking to create. Actor lofting it down low for Pettigrove, and that's going to be the 5th foul on Juliana Park.
Yeah, Park's been playing out there for a while now with those 4 fouls all the way since the 4th quarter. But she fouls out of the game. And this foul trouble just continues to mount for both sides as these fouls rack up, as these quarters continue, and everybody going to the foul line.
And so Park exits with the team best 19 points for Randolph-Macon. And now Kat Pettigrove goes to the free throw line here for Washington and Lee. Now just 2 of 5 on the season after that first miss.
They're really struggling in this overtime period. 1 of 5 after that miss in this quarter.
Second one drops, 84-82, 2:23 left. Randolph-Macon ahead by a pair over 13th ranked Washington and Lee. Bruce. Around here for Byers. Smith along the wing, waiting for the screen from Matheny. She'll use it. Matheny turning to the right, banking it in for two. 86-82, largest lead of the day for Randolph-Macon is 4. Smith from behind pokes it free, no foul.
The Generals are really stagnating here on offense. Really just struggling to get any looks and no field goals so far in this overtime period.
Smith stops, recollects. Actor comes across, jump ball, possession arrow for Washington and Lee.
And Actor read that pass perfectly. Jumping in almost like a defensive back in football there, grabbing at the ball. This time the possession arrow in favor of Washington and Lee. Huge possession here though, coming down, really need a bucket if you're the Generals.
So McGinnis across half court, 1:15 left, Generals down 4. Preckle run off the three-point line by Smith. She'll reset, and we'll have a foul reaching in on Smith coming off the screen. So Preckle won't get the three-point shot off, but we'll go to the free throw line for 2 more.
The Generals have had plenty of opportunities from the line this quarter, but still not shooting that well. Preckle here with a chance to bring it within 2, though.
And the Generals continue their hardships at the line in the second overtime. Just 2 of 7 at the free throw line here in double overtime. Preckle hits the second three-point game, 86-83, 1:07 left. Randolph-Macon should be content to eat a little bit of clock here. Bruce calling for Byers to come to. Byers picks up her dribble. Miller out on the wing. Down low, Matheny. Turnaround, short. Rebound, Actor.
A great defensive possession there. Not fouling for Washington and Lee. Staying strong on all levels. Coming away with a big defensive rebound.
Preckle, catch and shoot 3. Left it short. Smith, the defensive rebound. That one off the foot of her and out.
Smith immediately trying to contest that call, asking for a replay. That one looked clearly off of the foot of Smith. We'll take a look at the replay here.
See what we can see. Rebound comes back out. Smith. And it looks like it's hard to tell without slowing it down. We'll see what I can do here for you, Shane, and slow that speed down. If we back it up just a tad. So we'll see it here come in slow motion. Smith able to grab it, and that's the right foot of Kat Pettigrove.
So
should be Randolph-Macon basketball if they overturn the call. However, the call on the floor is Washington and Lee basketball.
Officials taking a look at it now so that they can get the angle.
They have the same angle we do, Shane. I don't want to be the one that spoils it for people, but what we send from our camera is what they see down on the iPad downstairs. And it seemed pretty obvious for us, and they can adjust the speed down there as well if they're able to do so. They can, in fact, change their call. Now they will get together, and it looks like perhaps that's what they're going to talk about here. And it will be Randolph-Macon basketball. It did hit off Kat Pettigrove's foot. We showed you very clearly on the replay. It was good to see that they went to the monitor to get that one right, especially at a very important junction in this game. 26.7 seconds left in double overtime and a 3-point game.
So the Generals, they have to foul after this inbound. They're going to try to look to get it out of the hands of Smith, who is their top free throw shooter, and Randolph-Macon will talk it over.
So Randolph-Macon will use their final timeout. Try and draw something up here to potentially break some pressure because they can advance the ball past half court. That does eliminate full court pressure that you do have to break, but They are out of timeouts now after this, but at this point in the game, just trying to get it in. If you get fouled, make your free throws and try and nurse this game away.
For the Generals, you got to foul as quickly as possible as the ball gets inbound. Unless you're able to force a trap in the corner, with the shot clock off, it makes it really anything besides fouling difficult on defense.
Side out of bounds here for Randolph-Macon. Bruce, Ziegler, Matheny, Miller, and Smith for the Yellow Jackets. Up by 3, they get it in quickly. Miller is fouled immediately, and only a little over a second comes off the clock. So now we play the game of free throws here for Randolph-Macon. 18 of 28 on the day. That's about 64%. Morgan Miller is 2 for 2 on the day. 9 to 10 on the season. And the first one rolls out.
And a big free throw here. Without that, the Generals do have a chance to go down and even get a quick 2 if they want, depending on what happens here.
Short on the free throw. After the rebound, timeout, Washington and Lee. So 2 misses at the line for Morgan Miller. Keeps it a 3-point game with 24.3 seconds left. Washington and Lee will advance the ball past half court. And now down 3, you can either play the game of you take a 3 or you go for the quick 2 and continue to foul if that is your best course of action. 24.3 seconds, still plenty of time to get a good look. It's just a matter of see what Coach Kemp draws up here for the Generals with a very guard-heavy lineup on the floor.
The Generals have had a hard time from the three-point arc today, just 4 of 16. 3 of those shots from Quinn McGinnis. Do not have to force the three-point shot. If you get a good look, obviously you want to take it. But it's much better if you get a better look inside, keep most of the time on the clock, and then go back to playing the foul game and hope that Randolph-Macon missed their free throws.
So it's McGinnis, Shuttlewood, Preckle, Actor, and Bryant for Washington and Lee. Both teams out of timeouts. 24.3 seconds left. And now some confusion, perhaps, on if there's any timeouts left for Washington and Lee. And we'll see what the discussion is here. But that seems to be the point of contention. Coach Kemp thinking she still has a timeout left. The scoreboard says 0 because they had 2 at the start of this double overtime. But the one that they called earlier was a play that they ended up reviewing. But they will say that Washington and Lee burned a timeout. So now both teams, no timeouts left. 24.3 seconds left. Washington and Lee down 3. They get the ball in for Brianna Shuttlewood. Shuttlewood off a ball screen. Able to skip it here for Preckle. Bryant, 15 seconds left. Back to Preckle. The Generals wasting a lot of clock. McGinnis have to try and create. McGinnis picks up her dribble, just 6 to shoot. Preckle can't get any separation. Running out of time. McGinnis gonna hoist. That one deflected. It's gonna come out of play. And Randolph-Macon wins. A defensive stand for the Yellow Jackets seals it in double overtime. Randolph-Macon wins a program best 17th straight game. 86-83 the final in double overtime. Well, it was the best ODAC women's basketball game you will see this season.
Yeah, just an excellent game all around. Double overtime play. Both teams could hardly be separated throughout, but when you take a look at that last possession for the Generals, Randolph-Macon were absolutely in total denial of any three-point opportunity. So you would expect the Generals to try to get inside if Randolph-Macon's coming out and playing that kind of defense, but the Generals consistently trying to lock down the three-point ball, just unable to get any clean looks, and a very outstanding off defensive possession for the Yellow Jackets to close out their 17th straight win.
So 86-83 the final in double overtime. Washington and Lee has its 10-game winning streak snapped. Randolph-Macon makes it a program record 17 straight. They're 18-1 on the season. The only team unbeaten in conference play, 11-0, and hand the Generals their first loss on their home floor this season, and doing so in double OT fashion. Shane, it was as good of a game as advertised. We talked before it started that this one was going to come down to the wire. Did we have overtime in the equation and even a double overtime period in the equation? Probably not, but after it's all said and done, still a fantastic basketball game from start to finish.
Yeah, just all around. Both teams in that first half struggling offensively, not the most efficient play, a little bit of chaotic moments at times, but in the second half, both teams really came around, showed us what they can do on the offensive side of the ball. And at the end of the day, Randolph-Macon made the plays that they needed to make. Washington Lee struggled from the free throw line in that final overtime period, and that proved to be the difference in that one. Randolph-Macon a huge win to solidify their role and their spot on top of the ODAC conference.
So I'll read you some final lines. Mary Sliced 29 points, 20 rebounds, 5 blocks. She fouled out in the first overtime. Sarah Zimmerman also fouled out during that overtime period with 14 points and 7 rebounds. Quinn McGinnis, a career-high 23 points for Washington Lee, including 8 of 10 at the foul line. She played 44 of a possible 50 minutes for Washington Lee, and that comes in a losing effort for Randolph-Macon. Juliana Park, 19 points. She fouled out in the second overtime. Catherine Kagi, 17 points, 13 rebounds. She fouled out in regulation. Sam Smith, 13 points, 4 rebounds, including 4 of 4 at the free throw line. Played 49 of 50 minutes today for Randolph-Macon. 18 points, 11 boards for Mackenzie Matheny. And Bella Bruce also gets into double figures with 10 points and 5 rebounds. 86-83 the final. Randolph-Macon sits alone atop the conference. And they have another big game looming on the horizon. They have Bridgewater at home on Wednesday, a team right behind them in the standings, as Washington Lee now with 2 conference losses, a few games back of that top spot as the 2-time defending champs. But now Randolph-Macon can celebrate tonight. Back to work tomorrow, having a Bridgewater team on the docket on Wednesday.
Yeah, that game has huge implications for standings in the ODAC conference. The Generals obviously now find themselves sitting firmly in that 3rd position, having lost to Bridgewater earlier this season. But that matchup between Bridgewater and Randolph-Macon is going to have a lot of eyes on it. A lot of, as I just said, a lot of implications for how this ODAC will play out the rest of the way. Whoever wins that one will find themselves sitting at the top of the conference. So it's a huge game for ODAC play, but this one also massive win for Randolph-Macon to stay undefeated in conference play. And 17 wins in a row, quite impressive.
17 wins in a row for the Yellow Jackets. Their first win in Lexington since 2015. They get to 18-1 on the season and knock off their second nationally ranked team of the season, defeating Washington Lee by a final of 86-83 in double overtime. That'll wrap it up for us here on the Washington Lee Sports Network. Hope you tuned in for a bulk of that game. It was a thrilling 6-quarter matchup between the Yellow Jackets and Generals, perhaps maybe even a precursor of what's to come the conference tournament. We're 3 weeks out from the regular season finale on the 22nd, so just 5 conference games left for each of these teams after today. Potentially a matchup for Randolph-Macon and Washington Lee come the postseason, but the Yellow Jackets, in the only meeting of the regular season, get the better of Washington Lee by a final of 86-83 in double overtime. They were in a program-best 17th straight game and improved to 18-1 on the season, 11-0 in conference play, and are sure to jump into the national rankings this week. We're on the outside looking in as one of the last teams out. Should probably be in there after this week with a big win on the road against a nationally ranked opponent in Washington Lee. Washington Lee falls to 17-3. They have their 10-game winning streak snapped and are 9-2 in conference play. They suffer their first home defeat of the season. Back in action on Wednesday for the Generals at Randolph. Home next Saturday against Lynchburg. For all of us at the Washington Lee Sports Network, we say thanks so much for joining us. We got the second game of our doubleheader coming up. Washington Lee men's basketball against Shenandoah in about half hour's time. But for now, for Shane Riley, I'm Ryan Connell saying thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. A thrilling one here in Lexington. Randolph-Macon over Washington Lee 86-83 in double overtime.